Hello and welcome back to Online Teacher Induction. My name is Kent Wire. Today we're going to start Lesson 4 and take a look at classroom management and the classroom discipline plan. Before we do that, I just want to take a quick look back at the first 3 lessons. Our first lesson was an introduction as to why school districts, school buildings need new teacher induction programs, kind of a theoretical approach. The second video in our series was about the teacher effect and how teacher induction and getting teachers started off on the right foot helps to retain teachers, create a better quality of teacher, thereby enhancing the teacher effect. And the teacher effect being the traits that a teacher brings to the position, which eventually leads to student achievement and student growth. In video 3, then we got out of the theory and got more into the practical approach to new teachers, for new teachers. And that video and PowerPoint talked about the start of year checklist, things that every teacher needs to prepare for and think about before school starts. And that, whether that's a new teacher or an experienced teacher, this needs to be done every year. By every teacher, so that they provide the appropriate expectations for their students before the school starts. So today's lesson, Lesson 4, we're going to look at the classroom management and classroom discipline. Another one of those summertime activities or preschool activities. As you go into this preparation, every teacher needs to look at the building plan. So for new teachers, you're at a disadvantage. But that kind of ties into our topic of teacher induction, in that part of an induction plan or induction program for the district or for that building is to orient the new teacher to their expectations for classroom management, their expectations for student discipline. But there are some things that when the door is closed for the classroom teacher has the autonomy to make the decisions of how things are managed in that classroom. So let's take a look. An item that cannot be overlooked is a classroom management plan. In some buildings, there's a building plan on how to deal with the classroom. Sometimes this is called a classroom discipline plan or a building discipline plan. Your discipline plan, your rules and consequences need to be clear and posted, whether they're building rules or classroom rules. Make these prominent in the classroom, posted in the classroom, regardless of the age of your students. Another thing that every teacher should consider is a signal to quiet the class down. And this needs to be something that's discussed early on in the school year and taught early on in the school year, practiced early on in the school year. Whether that is, I clap once as a teacher. When you hear me clap once, if you hear me clap back twice. Or if I raise my hand up in the air, then everyone turn and look at me and raise your hand up in the air. Whatever that signal is, you can show a one finger, they show you back 2 fingers when they're listening. Think ahead, and I think that's appropriate as a high school principal. Sometimes I even think that's appropriate for a high school faculty to try to bring a meeting to order. So don't ever think that something is too simple or too elementary for your needs. New teachers, if you don't hear anything else, hear this. When a principal walks by your classroom, or a supervisor or an instructional coach, when they walk by your classroom and they see a well-managed classroom, that speaks highly of your skills. So don't overlook this very important piece of your start of the year school list, classroom management. Well, making a PowerPoint about classroom management or classroom discipline is easy, and talking about classroom management or student discipline is very simple. But when it comes down to actually implementing a classroom plan that works, where there is this give and take relationship with students, and students clearly see and understand, clearly know the expectations for them in the classroom, and there's this rapport that's built between the teacher that helps to enhance classroom management. There's so many little intricate details that go into an effective classroom management system. that can't be covered here. This is something for new teachers. Make sure at least you go in with a plan. And as you look at your start of school checklist, those routines and those procedures and classroom management, you might have noticed in the PowerPoint they had the same heading, the start of school year checklist, because they are all together. The way that you handle routines and procedures, the way you teach your students, your expectations, the way you practice expectations, help set the tone for how you're going to manage the classroom. The consistency you deal with those things on a day-to-day basis early on is going to help you manage your classroom regardless of the school discipline system that your building has chosen. You've heard it said that new teachers, or any teacher for that matter, should never smile until Christmas. That's simply not true. One key factor in managing a classroom, and people that have been in teaching very long, have heard this, where they say, don't smile till Christmas. Start off with a heavy hand, and you can lighten up as you go on. Nothing could be farther from the truth as far as what's going to help you be effective. Students are not unlike adults. Students are not that unlike teachers in that we all like positive relationships. So if your students like you and your students want to get along with you, if your students want to please you, then that's a huge step towards managing your classroom. If you show your students respect, if you're consistent every day, you stand for something every day, and they can see that goes a long ways towards helping establish a well-managed classroom. This is too large a topic to just discuss here in a 7 to 10 minute video PowerPoint. This is one of those where if you're assigned a mentor or you're working in a professional learning community, you want to really rely heavily on that conversation and talk about this as you develop strategies that will enable you to run an effective classroom. Well, that's all we're going to talk about today. For Lesson 5, we're going to visit a little bit about time management. And not about time management on a personal level for teachers, but how teachers manage their students' time to be more effective in the classroom. Ideas such as how to manage different transitions and how that ties in to your start of year school checklist, which all ties in together with your routines, your procedures, and your classroom management. So until next time,